All right, we saw a good London game. London games can sometimes be hit or miss. I thought this one was very entertaining. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about, the Vikings' struggles at times on offense, but also how they were able to move the ball as effectively as they could. The Saints and, Andy Dalton, and I thought that he played relatively well in this one. So, and we'll talk about the, craziness in the fourth quarter. So let's just get into it. So let's start off with this play. This is a great example of how the Vikings were able to move the ball down the field when they were able to, because they were able to move the ball down the field. Now listen, they had their other issues on offense. The pass protection was certainly an issue. They took way too many penalties, a lot of penalties in this game in general, but they were able to move the ball, and this is the predicament that they put even a really good defense like the Saints defense into, which is they just have two really tough guys to cover. So obviously, we have Justin Jefferson, who we will get into in a second, but this is actually going to be Adam Thielen, where it's going to be man coverage, and given the concept of just a single safety deep and Jefferson running a deep route over the middle, the deep safety is going to be covering him. So watch, when Cousins takes the snap and Cousins eventually fires to his left, you see that it was a one-on-one matchup now due to the scheme with Adam Thielen, and Adam Thielen is the kind of guy who can win his one-on-one matchups. And this is kind of, with this new coaching staff, the thing that we were excited about was a coaching staff that can sort of build the offense around the receivers to some degree, and also just make things easier on the receivers when they are, throwing the ball. It's not just, hey, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, you guys try and get open. No, it's not that. It's actually, helping them be in position to have one-on-one matchups with routes that can win one-on-one matchups. As you see, Thielen is going to be able to make the grab here, and they're able to pick up a big chunk play. And again, that's just the predicament that this team puts other teams into. And of course, going over here now, we have to talk about Justin Jefferson and the way that, again, they're able to sort of scheme him open and what he can do with that. It's another thing where I made a whole video about this after week one. We all got very excited week one, thinking he's going to be the next Cooper Kupp. Maybe not quite that, but he's still been very good. The main thing they've done, though, is a similar thing that they've did with Cooper Kupp, which is very much the let's scheme our best player open instead of just scheming a player open. That's kind of the mindset where you scheme a player open because you think, okay, well, we use our best player as a decoy, but sometimes it's better to just use other guys as a decoy and get the ball into your best player's hands, and that's what they're going to do here, where it's a concept where the two players lined up to the Vikings' right are both going to be running over the middle towards the offense's left, and so because of that, that can basically clear out anybody in that area. So when Justin Jefferson, who is currently lined up to the offense's left, so towards the bottom of the screen, eventually gets all the way over to the top of the screen, this, in theory, could allow him to get open. Now, there's a way you defend this if you're the Saints. It's not like you just have to let him stay open. Typically, what happens is somebody on the left side of the screen, a defender, will run over and follow Jefferson. Look at how when this play begins, Cousins runs the play action. Cousins is going to fire in that direction, and you see that Jefferson is just completely wide open. And part of how he was able to get so open was because of the fact that the defender who was trying to get over to follow him fell down. So that just made it even easier for him to get open. But there was still some, there was still a legitimate strategic reason and X's and O's reason why he was able to get open, on top of just he's very good and someone fell. And then look at how, he makes the grab and is going to be able to pick up a ton of yards after the catch as well. He nearly got into the end zone, delivered a big hit on Lattimore, almost got in, just stepped out right before it. But they were, and at the time, it actually felt like that would have been really a nice touchdown to have when they ended up only getting 3, but still a very good play. Again, red zone issues, some things went wrong there, but still, they were able to move the ball effectively. Meanwhile, for the Saints, I thought Andy Dalton played well, or at least played solidly well. He was running the offense well and did some nice things on top of that. So this is a running the offense well type of play. It's going to be a cover 2 man, and you see the player that Dalton is going to look towards. There's a linebacker who's covering him, so makes sense. A good route against this type of concept. Look at how when Dalton takes a snap and looks in that direction and fires in that direction, it is easily open. So part of this is just finding the open guy. You could sit here and say, all you did was just find someone who's already wide open, but that's what you're supposed to do. That's your job as an NFL quarterback, is to find a guy who is as open as possible. That's the goal here. And this is kind of what Andy Dalton brings to the table. Kind of oftentimes what you talk about with Dalton is he's someone who, as long as the talent around him is good, he can look very good. And if he's in a bad situation, he looks very bad. He gets kind of as good as the situation around him is. But as you see, he does make the throw, good accurate throw. They're able to get the first down there. So he had some like these that were just sort of yeah, good throw, good solid throw, finding the open guy, finding the most favorable matchup and hitting that. All that stuff, definitely good, definitely something you like. But he also had some, I would say, above and beyond plays. Something like this is a good example of, it's a cover 3 zone right here, and you have Marquez Callaway running a go route. And worth noting the situation, so about 20 minutes left in the game, 5 minutes left in the third quarter, you're down 9 here. So second down is 16. Sometimes you do have to say, like, let's just take a shot. Sometimes you have to at least start taking shots, start being more willing to take a shot here. Look at how when this play begins and you see Marquez Callaway with a one-on-one matchup. If this is the first play of the game, I don't know if Andy Dalton throws this one. I think Andy Dalton might look for something else, but, maybe he still throws it. Again, one-on-one matchup on the outside, you'll take those odds a decent amount of time, but it's not like this is an obvious, oh yes, you should make this throw, and you have to imagine, given the situation, it makes it a lot more of an easy decision. You see a situation like this developing where you can potentially get the first down on a 2nd and 16 and get yourself in at least field goal range to where you can potentially, make it a 1-score game, kind of an opportunity you really want to take. And as you see, Dalton makes this throw, and it's a great catch by Callaway. To me, that's a veteran-type throw right there. It's kind of one of those things where you see this with some guys who, have been a backup for a long enough time now. I think of, a Ryan Fitzpatrick of, not really caring about your stats so much, just trying to put your team in position to get a victory. Try to be the backup who come in and, got your team a win. That's what they're trying to do. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Again, the Saints played, I thought, well in this one. I thought the Vikings played well. I thought these are two teams that have been very inconsistent to start this season, but I thought that they both looked solid in this one. Both still have their mistakes. I definitely think the Vikings did a much better job, maybe on a play-per-play basis, but the Saints did a better job at getting the big plays going. It's a game that really came down to that wire, that, missed extra point, and then that 60-yard field goal. A lot of craziness, a lot of, insanity, but Vikings were able to pull it out. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.